Namaste. Hello and welcome to the Kundalini podcast. That was Zen, this is Tao. I'm Vivek, Govekar. So you may have seen the previous video that I put on, and that was not part of this series. It was just a random talk. And the reason I tried that was because this is becoming a little episodic and has a format. There's a reason for that. If you have a format, then it's easier to know your content, know your time, and express yourself. So I had a very formal way of expressing myself. So I just decided to go wild and make a couple of random videos and talk in that way. And it worked. I mean, I got some good comments, but I got some bad comments too. So I'm going to keep this format and then slowly evolve into the other formats. So this is episode 57, and I've decided to talk about mindful awareness in a little bit more detail. I've talked about mindful awareness a lot in these videos. And yes, everyone has a general idea of that, because one of the videos I made, I talked about a person eating a raisin or an apple, take anything. And instead of just gobbling it up and rushing through life, with mindful awareness, what you're trying to do is you're tasting everything, slowing everything down, and taking the time to enjoy every single aspect of it. The taste, the texture, the flavor, everything. So now, I have mentioned that I use mindful awareness and train myself to the point that anything that comes in life, your bad situations, something traumatic, is all being dealt with an outlook where you are witnessing it as something that is happening to yourself, the inner witness. Okay? A wonderful example of explaining this concept, again, came from the movie The Matrix. If you have seen the Matrix movies, I don't know exactly which one, probably the second or the third one, and there is a scene where Neo, Keanu Reeves as Neo, enters this room where he meets this guy called the architect. And this architect is sitting there, Neo is standing, and behind him is this whole array of screens, TV screens, where he is shown his own emotions, like himself, that same person, giving different responses, right? That's exactly what your mind is. Okay, we talk about split personalities and multiple personalities with people. No, you, even the seemingly normal person, has many different shades, many different variations of his own mind that is running around, those emotions. And it's like that wall of screens behind Neo. So you just see one person, Neo, standing there, and the response to whatever that architect is saying is shown in many different emotions: anger, hatred, disappointment, all other emotions. What mindful awareness does is help you train to see those things as these costumes that you're wearing. Okay, if you take a glass of water and put blue color in it, the water looks blue. If you put red color in it, the water looks red. Similarly, your mind has the ability to latch on to all of these emotions. Your true self, the witness, takes these emotions from the mind, and you go along, oh, this is happening, oh, this is going to happen. So there are three kinds of emotions that come out in general. One is about the past. So, oh, remember, this happened? So now, the next action, the next situation that might come is seen from the prism of what happened in the past. And usually, all our limitations, all our inabilities to function and do something tomorrow, today, in the future, are because we are limited by whatever happened in the past. Oh, this happened, so that same thing might happen again, so let me not try this again. That's the past. But remember, that is just one thought of one possibility of something happened, something that happened that you remember, may not even remember it perfectly. And that's set up a blockage, a barrier for you. The other is the future, the fear of the future, again, based on something that happened in the past. And you not having the ability to imagine beyond that framework and see that there are limitless possibilities, more things that you could imagine. But because you stay in that limited imagination and your self latches on to whatever the mind is throwing out, the thoughts, you are not able to function correctly with the right set of actions, with the proper amount of confidence for that situation. Okay, so with mindfulness, what we are trying to do is to get the mind out of these various emotions and these automatic buttons that are now being triggered each time you attempt to do something, and instead of that have a clean slate. Again, the example I can give is of a child. A child has to be told repeatedly, don't do this, you will fall down if you climb up, or something like that. They don't remember, or they're so busy enjoying the present moment that it's fun. It's a lot of stuff that they want to do, explore, and the past has not become an obstruction yet. Sometimes that's bad. They do dangerous stuff because of that. But something that can be learned, and all of the stuff that I've said so far, and how it can be put into practice is this. Start doing this during the good moments when things are going well, because that's training for when things will not go so well. And again, when you're going through those tough times, all your training might just go away, and you will have to bring yourself back to saying, no, go back to the training, go back to what you have put in practice for a long time, and employ that. The tendency, what happens is, and this is the biggest problem in all of this spiritual stuff, when things are going well and I'm making these videos, you might say, oh, things are easy for you, so it's easy for you to say all of this spiritual stuff. This is all theoretical. Wait till a problem comes and then all of this will go away and you'll suddenly become a different person. Never make that mistake. Never think that all of this was for some theoretical spiritual thing that I was talking about. But look at these problems I'm facing. Oh, this stuff is nonsense. Big mistake. Because remember, the thought that is telling you that this stuff is nonsense, it is not meant for the real world, is also just a thought. That is one thought that you can put in or discard and say, no, my training and my practice, I'm going to put that into this picture and make that work and see if that works. So, as I've said in the past few videos, I've been going through some stressful times and some traumatic changes in my life. And I went through all the phases, like, oh, disappointment, disillusionment, is this right, whatever I'm saying? Oh, this doesn't work, now I have to do the real stuff. No. When I started looking at it mindfully, it was amazing. I started to see every single emotion. And the only comparison to the past that I did was, how would I have handled this back in my previous unawakened self? And how do I handle this now? And what's the difference? And when I saw the difference, when I compared myself, the difference was night and day. Okay, let me give you an example from the past. I was in a situation about many years ago when I was getting my PhD. And it was a very stressful situation. I didn't have a job. I was in a PhD program, but I wasn't sure I was going to finish that degree. My income was very limited. I was in a lot of debt. And under that stressful situation, I was constantly worried. Constantly, there was stress and fear gnawing at me. And as a result of that, the decisions I made were not the best. Okay, I got out of that situation, but barely. And fast forward to today, and I'm facing similar situations. I don't have the anxiety, I don't have the agitation. Now, it's possible that those things could still happen. I could still latch on to those things. But because of mindful awareness, I see every thought that comes as just that. Okay, now wait, watch this thought, it's coming. You don't have to latch on to this. Oh, this will happen, that will happen, bad things will happen, thoughts come. Yes, but those are just thoughts. Let them pass. You will get out of this situation what you put into it. So that's how I got the idea of not breaking from routine, doing what you were doing, not going into this downward spiral of guilt, hate, anger, misery, and make things worse. Look at the bright side of everything. Put affirmations that make myself positive. And it's miraculous. It's just my actions how I responded to that situation that determined the path, not just for the next day, the next week, but for the rest of my life. Here's a crunch situation. And you could either fold completely under that situation, and that sets the tone for everything else that follows. Or you could rise up, shake that off, beware of your worst instincts, prevent yourself from doing the worst things that you could have done to yourself, to the outside world, any emotion of anger, anything related to anxiety, frustration. And now suddenly things look better. Because the outside world is not facing your problems. It is going through its own whatever cycle that it is going through. What you present to the outside world, the face that you present, whether it's anger, anxiety, reflects badly on you. You look stupid. You look silly doing some things. And people will ask, well, what happened? Why are you doing these things? Oh, this happened and that happened. And it's just like, oh, this person has had one difficult thing and he's dealing with it in such a negative way. I've had so many problems and this person. Immediately you set up that comparison where that person says, why are you dealing with it this way? No matter what you're going through inside. But instead, if you have seen it through the prism of mindful awareness and seen, these are just thoughts. I'm living in the present moment. Yes, there may be problems. And thank you, God, for giving me the opportunities, these challenges, these tests. And all of my training, mental and physical, is going to come in handy. And wow, this is an opportunity to use that training and do the best with it. Okay? It's not easy to have all of this, which is why you need to train on this. Similarly, in good situations. Oh, things are going well. I did this. Look at me. And you have this imagination where you can either use it to create more accomplishments, achievements for yourself, or you can just get carried away and have a false sense of, look at me, I'm so great, arrogance or ego. So mindfulness comes in handy even in those situations. If you have been mindful in those situations, and like I have said, kept a balance. Am I going too far with my harshness? Am I going in a depressed direction and not being forthright enough or confident enough? If you have been balancing it all the time, the next situation that comes doesn't even you don't even look at it from good or bad. You just see it, situation. That's the other thing mindfulness and meditation training does for you. When awakened beings, enlightened beings talk about detachment, this is what they mean. It means not a lot of your emotional energy is spent deciding whether that's a good or a bad situation. It is just a situation. It is coming at you and you have to deal with it. Then there is a series of events, actions that you have to undertake to go beyond that situation. It applies equally to so-called good situations as it does to bad situations. So I thought I'd make this video and let people know of how mindfulness awareness, mindfulness training is helping me cope with my problems. It is not just something theoretical and spiritual. Because you may be watching me in my surroundings and say, hey, things seem to be going well for you. Well, this is what happens when things are not going well. And it does work. Everything that I'm saying does work for me. Yes, there are still things I have to deal with, but I'm dealing with them in such a calm way. Even when I wake up with depressed thoughts, I know what to do to correct the mind. I know it's a mechanism. And I don't sit there for hours with these fears just running rampant and taking the energy away from what I could do to change that situation. That needs to be remembered. And you need to keep working. You cannot stop. You keep your routine going, your discipline going, and this is the way to do it while keeping your mind under control and not letting your mind run tricks on you and take away your energy to actually change that situation. I hope you found this helpful. So this is a little bit about mindfulness training. If you like this video, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends about it. Again, this is Vivek Govekar saying Namaste, be well.